Do you remember the Wicked Witch of the East? When the house fell down on her, it fell on an angle that you can see the angle of the world we're on. It didn't fall flat, because if it falls flat, it doesn't give you very much of an angle of vision. It doesn't open up your vision. When something falls on an angle, if I take away my hands, when you put your hands and you remove your hands, you put your hands and you remove your hands. The Wicked Witch of the East, did you see her socks? They were just like Ronald McDonald. What happened to the Scarecrow? He was full of straw. All his veins from his head, just like the pumpkin seed. The veins from his head, the pumpkins, and no brain for the Scarecrow. He had no brain, but he had everything else to be able to bring that brain to the rest of his body. But yet he was still able to know that he didn't have a brain. The lion who had no courage. Why? Because his heart had no age to install the courage. Courage. Encourage. There was no one there to push him into this world, to set him on a new set. How can I say it? Maybe we should jump over to the Wizard of Oz. The Tin Man had no heart, and he rusted. Tin is metal, had no heart, so that means in his head he had no brain. He had a brain that didn't know he wasn't connected to the spirit world. I need water. The Tin Man. Oh, this is so funny. I got two cats sitting in the same... I'm drinking this, and it's hard for me to drink anything. Twice as much. Let me go on. You know, it's hard to work. I always say this, but don't feel sorry for me. It's hard to sit here all alone, and I come up with something to do. And then in something to do, it takes me so far that I get an idea for something else. So I put it aside for later, and it's time for bed. And I have no one to remind me where I should start. And I would love to jump back into the piano and do the piano backwards, forwards, number off the key. If I hit the first G after center C, what number is it? You know what I'm saying? I want to do all the angles, but people who play can tell me what the sound and what goes on while you're doing that, which will probably help me. But I need to do all the angles, but what is it good for? I'm not a pianist. I know nothing about the piano, but I can compare it to something else. But again, what does that mean if I compare it to something else? If there's no interest in partaking, if no one partakes, oh yeah, do pie, you went a little bit further, go a little bit further. I need that encouragement from the lion, the tiger, the bear. Oh yeah, the lion, the tiger, the bear. Oh yeah, I got 3 bowls of porridge. I only got 1 stomach to put it in. So regardless, hot, cold, big or small, I'm only going to eat what I have to need to eat. The tiger, or the lion, he needed his courage. Cour, okay, cour, which means to study. It means a yard. It also means cour, which is a yard, which also means 3. He needs the 3 parts of his thinking to know what is courage. You know what I'm saying? He's scared of everything because he doesn't understand life. The scarecrow wants a brain. He's got all that straw, he can burn up, he's on fire, he can send all the message all over the place, but all he's got is the body, but he's got no connection. There's Dorothy, there's the Tin Man, there's the Wizard of Oz. Who else was there? We talked about the Tin Man, we talked about the lion, and we talked about the straw. Tin, lion, straw. STL. 1939. Right away off this top, we connect to the Twin Towers, two sides of the board. The L is the light of life. So we have right away the spirit of time and the light of life walking alongside Dorothy, which was the angel of life, in which she lost her dog, and it is her dog that gives her the proper directions, in which if she goes left, it's right, and if she goes back, it's forward, and whatever she does, her dog knows the way, because the dog is on the outside, the cat and the thought is on the inside, and when they took her cat Toto, that's next year, Toto is 2 eggs, from both worlds. 20 and 15 is 35. 2 and 3 and 5, 2035. 3 and 5 shows you again the 2 balls, because 3 times 5 is 15 and 3 and 5 is 8. The 8 ball makes creation of 11. The spirit angel of man barking out the orders in our own mind. The eye, the hip, the nose, the nostrils, the breast, the chest, the head, the leg, the knee. The elbow, the hips, the fingers, the toes. Can you break apart an atom? If you break apart an atom, it means you're taking apart a little bit of each of its own dimension, according to the way I see it. Therefore, to take away an atom must regrow. Regrow what? Only in size. Taking away the atom is the same thing that when a woman is pregnant, is it not? They took away an atom and they had to grow it from scratch. That's all I see. Take away an atom, Adam had to leave. Eve ate the forbidden fruit. It was the egg. She had a child. And I'm just throwing things all over the place right now. Shows on TV. Pinky and the thumb. Isn't it funny that everybody remembers, what's his finger? Oh, it's a thumb. What's his finger? It's a pinky. What are these? I'm not sure. This one's a pointer. Screw you. And this one I'll put the ring on. So if they got names, they got reasons. They got names, they got reasons. The thing is, for the devious mind that will not speak, yet the tongue has no fault at all. If you don't stop and try to think what needs to be said in order not to hinder anyone else in your road. And if you're hanging with people that you're hindering, and it's not your fault in any which way, but being there. Being there because I'm in a situation right now where I spoke to a person, and I have to say this because this is about me, right? This video, I make these videos about me also. Somebody is in debt, and they can't handle the debt. And it's nothing. It's not even a lot. It's a lot less than they can pay it off probably in 2 months and catch up, and it's less than $2,000. But the third party, the mother of this person, calls me and asks me to straighten it out. Instead of saying, did you speak to this person to help them? Can you help them? She teaches the other person about how they have to be helped, and they can't go along, and she makes it look so bad that all of a sudden they have no courage. And then if you can't help them the way they want, they have no heart for you. They're full of straw and fully connected, and they know everything going on, but because they're not old enough, they're very unsure. Even when they say they're okay, and maybe they are, it is the third party that hinders them. The third party on the walk of the Lord of the Rings. So I help him, but she says, I didn't speak to him and I didn't know. Lord of the Rings. Who's in whose way? But if she wouldn't say anything at all except just to speak to him, if he doesn't speak to me, it can't be my fault. So then if something happens and someone's very sad because they have no money to pay for something, I'll be blamed. Because two of the people, one who didn't have the courage, and the other one, she didn't have the courage either. They should both come and see me, and I should tell them this is the way it is. But they're never happy with the results. Whatever I tell them, can't you do this and can't you do that? From none of my business coming as a single person into this world and having one child, but having two of them against me. It's retarded. Not against me, but refusing to listen to my vision. Why do they have to listen to my vision? Because they come here with a problem and ask me to say what I have to say, what I can see. And I say it. And then they throw it down. And then when I can't do what they want, then I'm put down. And that's not fair. And I wish. And these two people, the closest, well, at least one of them is closer to me than anybody ever can be, really has never seen any of my videos and does not know who my mind stands for. It stands for the present and the energy of the love, of the configuration of putting everything in order, although when I do my videos I'm out of order and it seems like I'm never in order. In fact, somebody told me I needed a mind bender yesterday, and they go see your mother, and I mentioned this yesterday, and go see your mother this and go see your mother that. There's nothing to see my mother about. When I went into the hospital before this began, because I couldn't understand it, that's why I went in, there was a couple of nurses and no doctors. And when there was a doctor, the only thing they were looking was how much we were thinking. And the more we thought, the worse we were. They kept giving you drugs. They gave me so much, they passed me out at home, more than once. They gave me so much that when you look online now, they say that amount can kill you. And that's how much they gave me. And why are you taking less? They don't know the deep down world. There's not only one world. They think these doctors, they must know the spirit world and understand how it works. You cannot be half a doctor. So dentists are different. Where am I right now? Last night I had a dream, but I think I'm going to put it into my this is out, this is in. This is one snake, this is the other snake. You're going to get that egg and they're going to ram it up and they're going to turn it into something. The gates close. If the gates didn't close, you'd never be able to go to the washroom. You have to open up and close the gates. Anyways, I am going for a coffee. What did I say I was going to do next? Oh yes, my dream last night. Oh my God. It was utterly fantastic. There's so many things to do. There's just so much to do. All you got to do is ask. All you got to do is ask. There's so many numbers to do, so many numbers to roll over. I mean, this is a football setup that I made. Whatever you touch, you can do something with it. I'm so sure, but it all depends. You do the alphabet, you can write letters on the angles you want, you can put them touching together, you can put them inside of each other, but when you put them inside of each other, what you want to try to do is how can I say this? Each letter has to have its own size. Like the 7 can be made in its own square. The 7 seems to always really curve off in where it's supposed to start at 1 and end up in 8. It starts at 1 and ends up in 7. It makes it perfect. So if it ended up the other way, okay, if it ends up in 8, it looks more like the real 7. It looks more like a partial. When it ends up in 7, I'm going to write it down. See, the evolution of the letters. You saw evolution of orangutans, and you saw Neanderthal man, and everything else. Well, why can't we see the erection of the letters? Here's a 7. You see this one over here? You see this one over here, and this one over here? This can be your L. This can also be, because it's like this will be your V. Okay, this is your L, but it starts in 1 and ends in 8. So it's A-H-A-A-R-S. Ahar, Shar, Shara, Era, Ara, Hara, whatever way you want to do it. And this one is funny because all I have to do is this, and now I got the N, or the Z. You see what we did? We went from this to this. This is the 1, this is the 7th gate. 1 in piano meets the 7th gate. 1 and 7 equals 8. 1 equals 4, and 7 equals 2. 1 equals 34, and 7 equals 65. Equals to 9, 9. 7 equals to Jupiter. Why? Because the numerological count for this number is 65. Plus the 7, 7 stands for 72. In piano, 1 to 7, 2 to 7, we make the 9, we make the 14, we make the 23. From the 23, we make 6 and 5, and man is communicative from A to Z in the 9 months of birth. Here we are, the piano, 2 and 7. 3, 4 in creation. I see it. I see it so strong that it can be manipulated very easily a little bit further. So then I believe it. So I work on it, and then I multiply it by 3. Then I'll multiply it by 4. Maybe I'll put it into the 7, 10, or 13 worlds. I can put it in from 1 into the 13 worlds by going 1 and 13. Or I can go one step up in roulette and go 1 to the 7th world is 6. So 1 and 6 is 7. So now we need another 6, and we get the 13. Or we take the 6 that we used and put 7 on it for 13. Or we take the 6 that we use and put 4 on it for 10. Where do we want to go? How many numbers and letters are there actually that we need to have in the cycle of creation? I can probably figure it out and make something out of it. But you can figure out a lot of things with numbers, and sometimes they may not go to the same place you're thinking, but you'll end up with an answer to something else. You know that when we talk in billions and trillions, when there's 10 horses on the race, and nobody has odds yet, and you put it all as NA not available, which is 15, which is the egg right away. NA equals 15 the egg. Or you put all zeros, and now 10, 12 horses look like a billion. When it's not a billion, more than every horse in the race is running for the same prize. 7 billion people, but there's one world order looking for the same prize. What you can do with Z, what you can do with the N. One scapegoat down here, one scapegoat down here. Now what happens here? What happens here? You get this scapegoat that goes all the way here, and this scapegoat that all the way here, and now, look at the W we created. You see that we had created the arm? Raphael 7286 and the constellation figures. Thank you for watching.